Hi everybody, this is Nightfighter22 here. I hope you guys are all well. And today we're going to be talking about the fried liver attack. And now a lot of people will play this fried liver attack, but today I'm going to show you how really this opening is a bit of a myth when you get high into the chest level. And it's not really the best opening for a white person to play. That being said, if you're playing against this position, like so, as black, it is quite difficult to defend against it if you don't know how. But I'm going to show you how. So if you encounter this position, you will have no problems in the fried liver attack. So let me just show you how the game starts out. White will start with e4, most common move. And a lot of black defenders like to play e5, which is cool. Knight to f3, knight to c6. And now your opponent will signal the Italian opening. This is the second most common move, the Ruy Lopez bishop to b5 being the first most common move. And a lot of people just play knight to f6 here. And if you're playing black in this position, yes, knight to f6 is a good move and I would recommend it. But one of the problems which you might encounter here is if your opponent goes ahead and plays the knight up to g5. The whole idea of the fried liver attack is to expose this f7 square. So the knight and the bishop are both attacking f7, and what will happen is, well, say if you made a simple development move, this is what I'm talking about if people don't know how to defend it, such as e7, then your opponent just goes ahead and plays knight takes e7. The king can't take because the bishop is protecting it, and the queen is lost. You know, the queen's completely trapped. Alternatively, this didn't have to be bishop to e7, it could have been bishop out to g5, the same thing. Even if the queen can move to e7, black will drop the rook here, and will be in a lot of trouble. Black will tend to be able to win back this knight, but he's already lost his rook, so he tends to be disadvantaged in the position. Now, what a lot of players may do, some more experienced players in this position, is play the pawn up to d5, which is the recommended defense for this. But after they take, they're not sure what to do from here. The whole point of playing this d5 move is to block out this bishop. It's the most effective way to block out this bishop. And once this bishop is blocked out, this knight also becomes a little bit useless because it can't take on f7 or it will be lost. So the main line is for white to go ahead and take that. Another thing to bear in mind is if he doesn't, then you're very easily going to be able to take on e4, having these two attackers on e4. So he will go ahead and take, but a lot of sort of more experienced players will now go ahead and take on knight takes d5. This is not what you want to do, because there is actually a little bit of a trap here. If you go ahead and take on d5, then actually your opponent can go ahead and take on f7, and it's still the same fork. You may be thinking the knight's undefended, but we'll get to that in a second. Obviously, because it's forking the queen and the rook, you want to get rid of that knight. But now comes the move queen to f3 check. And after the king goes back, boom, white has won the knight. So not only is white a pawn up in this position, black has also lost his castling rights and is threatening a mate with his queen on f7, so it's not exactly the best position. It's worth noting also, you know, if you're playing white in this position, a lot of people think that king to g8 is just safer, but this will result in check. Only way to defend is to take that, and you have a mate right here. There you go, checkmate. I think I have done that checkmate on someone before. Just worth noting if your opponent does play king to g8. But yeah, a lot of people do play this knight takes d5 move, and I just want to say that it is a bit of a mistake, and you can play a better move. What I would recommend is just playing the knight out to a5, attacking this bishop. And, you know, the whole point of it is the bishop has got to move. The most common move for the bishop to play is bishop b5 check. But what you can do here is, because the knight is supporting c6, just play c6, completely blocks the bishop out. You might have a little trade going on here. But on the 365 chess server, this position is completely equal, and black has as much chance of winning as white does. You know, this attack on f7 is pretty much gone. Also, just a little trade like here. No matter with this pawn structure, black's got very open bishops and is more developed than white's. Let's just go back a couple moves. But yeah, bishop takes b5 is the best move. Also, this f7 thing isn't as threatened because now there's no immediate attack. Black can get this dark square bishop out with a tempo and actually castle pretty early on. There's a couple of other things that that white can do with his bishop after it's being attacked here. The second most common move is just to play d3, but you can play h6. At this point, it's a bit dubious for white to go ahead and take this. Obviously, you play king takes and king takes f7. Queen to f3 just simply doesn't work because it doesn't put the king in check. And also this pawn is blocking the d5 from the bishop. So you can really see the point of moving that knight a5. It's kept the knight there to protect your king. This pawn is also protecting your king. So if he ever goes and takes that, he'll just go down a piece. Some players like to do it sacrificially, but as long as you can defend against it, you're going to have great chances because you're going to be up a whole piece in material. White will most likely go ahead and just retreat the knight. And now he can go ahead and take the bishop. He still has quite a strong centre here, but it's worth keeping in mind that it's a very open board, and you have the bishop pair. Again, if you look at the 365 chess.com server statistics, black wins nearly just as much as white here, which is a great achievement. Black's winning almost 40% of the time here. Another thing you might do, these are all pretty much the same moves. Let's just move that back. Is if the white player just plays bishop back to b3, at which point you just have a nice trade, and then you can get your bishop out and developed. Even if you wanted to, you could take this pawn. That's a very good move. It's attacking the knight. The knight goes ahead and retreats. You can bring your bishop out, defending this pawn with a tempo. Both sides castle. And as you can see, I really prefer the black position here. He's just got 2 minor pieces developed to white's 1, and he has better pawn structure. It's it's a really good way to defend. So just for a quick recap, this is the fried liver position. Obviously you want to play d5 in this position, and don't fall for the mistake of playing knight takes d5 here. Instead, go ahead, play your knight out. A lot of players are worried that this knight's going to the rim of the board, but just bear in mind it can always go to c4 and back to c6 here. It's not the end of the world, and it is doing a purpose. The main reason why people don't like knights in the corner is because they're not doing something. But if it is doing something productive and attacking this bishop, this bishop's often the strongest minor piece that white will have in the opening, then it is very beneficial sacrifice. Okay, so that was my tutorial on how to defend against the fried liver attack. It really, it's really good. You have no problems defending against this fried liver attack as black after playing the moves in this video. I hope it was very useful. Please comment if you want me to do a tutorial on anything else, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.